Not surprised to see the player go somewhere. Unfortunate to see where he went. Ernest Hausman, of course, the linebacker from Columbus, Nebraska, who really turned on the last 4 weeks of the season, announced a few weeks ago he's going to transfer. He announced yesterday that he's going to Michigan, the Wolverines, who are right now playing in the playoff. They'll play later this month for the playoff as they play against TCU.
Yes, they do in the college football playoff.
For the second straight year, Michigan's in the playoff. So Ernest Hausman, on one hand, you say, wow, that's awesome. It's impressive that they would take Ernest Hausman on a team that's going to the playoff for a second straight year. On the other hand, as a Nebraska fan, you say, that sucks. That stings to lose him there.
Okay, yes and no. He visited Michigan. Okay, this is impressive. He visited Michigan, Ohio State, and Iowa.
Yeah, that's pretty damn impressive.
So
he saw his last 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, so he can play. Visited Michigan, Ohio State, and Iowa. So it's better news that he's going to Michigan than Iowa.
Correct.
It's amazing how this stuff goes. He'll be joining Michigan's program in January. He's gone. In January, he's gone. He's joining Michigan's program. Wolverine the next.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I don't know that I say that it sucks, kind of.
Oh, come on. It sucks for Nebraska.
Here's what it's interesting. I will tell you this. It's interesting. A couple thoughts. It's like if a kid, a freshman, or anybody really, it doesn't even have to be a freshman anymore. If a kid from Nebraska goes to Michigan Stadium and has a good game, what are you going to be thinking now? Or goes to Ohio State and has a good game, or goes to, anywhere, goes to Colorado. How about goes to Colorado and plays primetime, and somebody catches primetime's eye? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost cringe a little bit, like, oh God, now we're going to lose this kid.
Don't look too close, Dion. Turn away.
Right.
Don't watch this too close.
Right. Don't look at AJ Allen too close.
Don't even try.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the kids are in a good position.
You're right. Think about it. Ernest Hausman played a great game in a bad loss at Michigan, a blowout loss.
10 tackles.
But it was very obvious if you were a Michigan Wolverine, hey, that guy is different.
10 tackles.
Right. We saw their own eyes. Ernest Hausman was just different in that
sacked game. McCarthy and had that burst towards McCarthy that was eye-catching. Yes. Well, you know what, Jake? It didn't only catch your eye. It didn't only catch my eye. It caught the eyes of the coaches on the Michigan sideline. And then you go get them. You tamper probably. There's a lot to this discussion. Would it give you pause now, if you're Nebraska in its current state, to schedule up in the non-conference, put I don't know, put an Alabama on your schedule? Why would you? I wouldn't. I'd be hesitant now, because if Alabama sees somebody, they'll come and get him. I'm just almost.
Well, how far is Nebraska scheduled out right now for non-conference games?
They got Tennessee on there.
They've already scheduled out quite a bit.
I mean, that's probably. Now, I hope what the text line's doing is saying, okay, old man, calm down, right? Would you say that?
There's some fear. There's some trepidation there about that.
The other thing that brings
– this is a Big Ten team.
The other thing that comes to mind, now humor me on this. If I were Matt Rhule, if it was Sipple running the program, I would have a full-time transfer portal. I'm going to say department, for sure, one full-time employee making $250,000. $250,000. I'm going to pay him $250,000 and what you're in charge of is talent acquisition and scouting, full-time transfer portal. I want to know, because there's nuances in this discussion. You got to find like a Trey Palmer, who's really good, who's fast, runs a 10-2, but you know what? He's not one of LSU's top guys, and he might not be one of their top guys. So put some feelers out there. Make sure Trey Palmer knows he could be Nebraska's number 1, where he's LSU's number 4. Okay.
Yeah.
He could be he could be our number 1. Now you're good. You're in a good spot, but you're 4. Okay. You're going to get the ball a lot more at Nebraska. Get that in that young man's mind. Tamper. You're not supposed to, but everybody's doing it. And I'm going to pay a guy $250,000 to do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the way that we're going in college football, the tampering is just part of it.
You got to find a Malik Hornsby at Arkansas who's a good quarterback, but he's behind KJ Jefferson, and you got to find out if KJ Jefferson going to come back? Is he going to come back? Yeah, he's coming back. Find out if he's coming back. And if you find out that he's leaning towards coming back, you get him Malik Hornsby's ear. Okay, if KJ comes back, and I'm talking, Jake, I'm not doing this after the season. I'm not waiting. These guys don't wait, Jake. You know that.
I know that.
I mean, you heard those stories about that running back at Wisconsin getting tampered with during the season. This isn't Sipple saying, go be illegal. I kind of am, but everybody's doing it. You heard the guy, who's Jonathan Taylor?
Yes.
Wisconsin. He said teams were coming after him. I mean, do you think Lincoln Riley, I don't know when Lincoln Riley started tampering with Jordan Addison, but it happened, right? And bam, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah. Ron says, cheat to win by Sipple. I mean, listen,
no, it's not.
That's today's college football.
Yeah, don't do
If
that.
you call that cheating, then everyone's doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're not doing it, you're behind the 8 ball.
That you're being overly sanctimonious.
You get poached and you lose. You lose a lot of games. You lose a lot of good players.
Being over sanctimonious. You can't be over. You can't just. I mean, no, that's crawling in a shell if you're not going to play that game. It's just everybody's playing that game. Everybody. Okay. So I'm paying somebody $250,000. Okay. Forget the tampering part if you want to. If you want to be sanctimonious about it, forget the tampering part, but have somebody in charge of it.
Someone says, I'm with Sip on this, but I think you have to hire more than one person.
Okay.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
This is not a one-person operation.
I said department, but I'm saying someone leading it that you're paying $250,000.
It is a department.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's a department.
If you got one person, it's not going to work out.
Could I make this into a column? I think I could.
You might have to.
Yeah. I think I could.
How to restructure the staff right now.
Yeah, an idea from. I'm sure people would want to read Sipple saying an idea for Matt Rhule. So I always hate it when sports writers run a program, but this seems like a no-brainer to me.
Ron says, "Are you taking applications?" Wet Blanket says, "I would like to apply for Sip's newly created $250K position here."
Well, do you think I'm paying too much? I don't, because it's critical.
No, it's
critical.
It's imperative right now in college football.
You need somebody every day focused on this. Every day of the year, every work day of the year, focused on the. Do you think I'm crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. No, it is vital to be on the portal.
I mean, Michigan got Hausman. They identified him. They probably talked to him, and said we got to get him.
Would it surprise you if to avoid any sort of tampering discussion, they said, "Hey, come here now go visit Iowa and Ohio State, so we don't look like the bad guys here." But no, you're coming here, and here's the NIL deal for you.
Maybe, but I don't know.
That's my read. Is that hey, this was worked out. He had to look like it wasn't sort of tampering with the other schools, and so he went to those two, and then went to Michigan. That's my hypothesis here.
Could be, and there might not be any NIL involved in this. There might not be. Not all the guys are doing that. That I was reading about. Elijah Judy. Judy, the pass rusher from Texas A&M. His thing on NIL was this. He said, "No, I'm not. This is not an NIL move for me. I'm coming here to improve my NFL stock, and that's where the real money's made. I'm not worried about NIL. I'm coming or I would, what I would try to do. He hasn't announced.
They could say that,
I know, but I don't. He seemed like he was real about it. Hey, just so you know, not every guy is NIL hungry. Not every player. There's a lot of players.
I sent you an article about Ohio State.
I didn't read that. What?
Ohio State.
Pretend I'm the president of the United States and brief me on it.
Per an article I saw from Outkick.com, it appears that Ohio State's having some issue paying the big money to NIL that other teams are able to pay.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Now, again, maybe they're trying to get this money for every single player, which is a problem, the elite ones. But apparently, according to this article, that Georgia offered a kid $1.8 million to go there, and all Ohio State could offer that kid was $700K.
You're kidding me.
I'm not sure who that kid is.
Did they name the player?
No, that player is unnamed.
That player commands $1.8 million.
Georgia apparently offered some player $1.8 million. All Ohio State could offer was $700,000.
That's it. Just
all they could offer.
Just a pittance. 700.
Yeah.
A pittance.
Don't know who that player is, but $1.8 million to go to Georgia.
Well, it almost has to. It has to be a premium position.
Probably
right?
a quarterback or a rush, pass rusher or something like that.
Yeah.
Left tackle maybe.
Yeah.
Someone says the text.
I'm sorry I didn't read that, Jake.
Okay. Someone says I should start a business selling portal info to schools.
Yeah. Not
for.
I mean, now here's what I would say to that business idea, and I'm the master at shooting down ideas, but the reason you wouldn't start that is because of the reason that I'm espousing, which is, or the idea I'm espousing, which is programs creating positions for coaches or analysts to actively every day comb the portal. You can do it. On3's got On3 basically has a portal, all the portal names.
Okay, they do.
And a lot goes into this. Because you're trying to get a feel. You don't want to waste time on guys, right?
No.
You're trying to get a feel for who's available, and that's where the work would come in, right?
Yes.
That's where the phone calls come in, not necessarily directly to the player, but you can get a feel for a player by going to his handlers, maybe his coach or coaches, friends, family. You can get a feel for it. You don't have to call the player and tell him we're interested. You don't have to call the player. You could do it another way. Are you looking at me like I'm nuts?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's important. I'm going to assume that other schools already have this in play, though. I don't think this is going to be a brand new thing that people are saying, "Oh, what a great idea."
No, probably not.
I think it's probably happening at a lot of places already that are portal heavy.
Greg
in Myrtle Beach.
In the SEC, that position was called bagman. Now it's director of NIL operations.
Just change its name.
Yeah.
By the way, Bird says, President Sipple, I like that. Let's make that happen more often.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that. I always say that to the guys I work with. Pretend like I'm the president and brief me on this situation because I know I didn't read it.
Another text from Wet
Parker was the master at briefing me on situations. Yeah,
he would be a great aide to the president.
Parker Gabriel would be an incredibly good aide.
Yeah,
he'd be perfect. But the problem with Parker he'd be a great aide, and then people would start realizing
he's the president.
No, maybe he should be the president. That seriously.
Wet Blanket says, I think it's funny that when Sip has a good idea, he keeps asking Jake about it. Like he can't believe it's actually a good idea. He's not being criticized here. How can I criticize the idea of, hey, having a portal person or a portal department?
Yeah, portal department. You're saying department. And that's what I said.
There's a recruiting department, and now there probably should be a portal department because you still need to recruit high school kids.
Yeah, and what I don't want in this is what, if I was the head coach, I'd say, this is what I don't want. I don't want my AD, and I don't want anybody telling me, well, just make it part of your recruiting department. No, I want them separate. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's going to say, well, you have a recruiting department. They can handle that. No, I want someone dedicated to it every day. I don't want them to mess with the recruiting part. I just want them in transfer portal recruiting. And yeah, that guy may not earn his money every year. We might only take 4 guys some years, but some years we might take 14 or 15. All right. Or 16 or 21. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And if he gets a Jordan Addison out of it, then he's worth $250,000 easily.
And they give him a bonus.
Yeah, easily.
You get a bonus if you get that kid.
Yeah, easily.
They'll give you a good bonus structure in here.
Yeah, if Nebraska goes and gets Elijah Judy, Yukon Cornelius from Rhode Island, and they get a couple of those Florida guys from, on the defensive side of the ball, that position would more than pay for itself, right?
Yes.
I mean, Casey Thompson is worth $250,000 to the program. Wouldn't you say? Where'd they be without Casey Thompson?
They still went 4-8 with him.
Yeah, but
They
without
went 4-8
him,
with Casey.
You saw what it was like without him. You saw it. He's worth $250,000.
Casey's a good quarterback, but they still went 4-8 with him. And Texas was not elite with Casey Thompson either. I like Casey. I'm a big Casey fan.
Well, I'm not saying he's worth $1.8 million. I'm saying he's worth $250,000.
That's why you have to figure out what's the value system here. Like what is the value of
to me, the value system is the keeping people in the stands, keeping interest. The ticket money keeps flowing, which is an ungodly amount. That there's some intangible value to having a quarterback like Casey that you can't really define. But there's one thing you can define. You know what it looked like without him. Okay.
Texter says, I'm so impressed with Sip's ideas. The smartest guy ever from Columbus, Nebraska. No.
Is he mocking me?
I don't know. Possibly.
Ernest Hausman is from Columbus, Nebraska, by the way.
So is Mike Schaefer.
Yes, Mike Schaefer. And Dirk Chatelain.
Dirk, yeah. Well, he's from Rising City, close by.
Yeah. He went to Columbus High.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing Hausman said before you start that music.
It just started.
This is a hard thing to read. This year was a journey. I'll put it like that, Hausman said. It's kind of what I pride myself on, always getting better. And that's what I did throughout the whole season. Put your head down and get better. That's the only way to do it, no matter the circumstances. That's kind of how the year went, and I'll put it at that. So he got better at Nebraska. He's going to use it at Michigan. There you go.
I think we'll be tracking Ernest pretty closely the next couple of years.
Yeah. He used Nebraska. He got better. And then bam.
He used us.
See you.
We got used.
No, I don't know about that, but it's interesting to hear him say, yeah, I got better at Nebraska, and I'm leaving.
Was that the plan all along? Was to say, hey, maybe I know Michigan wanted me when I was in high school, but I wasn't ready for it. I want to prove myself
no,
now.
I don't think it was the plan all along.
That's one theory. That's a theory.